that peak somewhere out there. And even though I know how very far apart we are, it helps to think we might be wishing on the same bright star.
And when night wind starts to sing a lonesome lullaby, it helps to think we're sleeping underneath the same big sky. Somewhere out there, if love can see us through, then we'll be together somewhere out there, out where dreams come true.
Welcome to the Saddledome for what promises to be the greatest evening of these 15th Winter Games. And the reason is quite clear, Jane and Chris, because finally, Debi versus Katarina.
Finally, we've come to this event. It seems that we've been waiting a long time for it. I don't know how it'll go tonight. It depends, as we said before, who skates well. I just hope that whoever deserves to will win.
I got a feeling, Chris, a lot of the Aussies here and a lot of people you talk to are really hoping Debi Thomas can get this.
Yeah, I think, you know, slightly the underdog, and maybe that's why everybody's sort of rooting for her. Personally, I think, again, if they both skate their best tonight, I think Katarina will win. But if one of them makes the slightest mistake, then it'll go to the other one.
All right, well, we saw Brian also make just that one mistake, and that's what happened in the men's. Tonight, it will unfold. The battle for the ladies' gold medal. Coming up first on the ice, though, from West Germany, Claudia Leistner.
Representing the Federal Republic of Germany, de la République fédérale d'Allemagne, our next competitor, notre prochaine concurrente, Claudia Leistner.
Claudia had a bad fall in the short program the other evening, which dropped her a couple of places overall, but hopefully she'll be able to pull up this evening. She skates well.
That was a double axel combination opening. It was a strong opening.
It's a very difficult triple jump that she just did then.
I tend to find with some of the ladies with the stamina that, especially Claudia, she'll put all her difficult jumps in really early on so she can settle down into her program.
One way or another, she's a pretty good jumper. She was a high jumper at high school. In 1981, she was 6th in the World Roller Skating Championships. The following year, she came out and finished 4th in the World Figure Skating Championships. Obviously a very athletic lady.
She usually has pretty solid jumps.
Popping the triples tonight. strength is her athleticism as opposed to her artistry.
Yeah, she seems to have chosen a strange mixture of music here. It's very jarring when they keep cutting the music and changing to another piece.
Yes, I was just getting into the music from Gone with the Wind. That was about 3 or 4 segments ago.
Yes.
Just falling off the edge on that, but not falling over. So she had a word with the dressmaker too.
It's a fairly, as Chris says, revealing performance there from Claudia Leistner, who was once second in the World Championships back in 1983 and has skated pretty well here tonight.
Claudia had a back injury, I believe, and so she had to miss competing for about a year, and that's difficult to come back after that. But technically that was a good, strong performance from her.
Quite a dazzling replay there. Claudia Leistner, who said if she hadn't taken up skating, she would have been a track and field athlete, and she's obviously a very athletic performer. She certainly looks a lot happier than she did here on Friday night.
Yeah, it was a good performance by her tonight. She just lost the edge of one jump, but the other triples and double axels that she put in, that's why she gets a high technical mark.
5.4, 5.6, 5.7, 5.4, 5.4, 5.6, 5.6, 5.6, 5.4, 5.4, 5.6, 5.7, 5.4, 5.4, 5.6. Marks for artistic impression, pour impression artistique. 5.6, 5.4, 5.2, 5.5.
And a pretty happy Claudia Leistner there from Ludwigshafen in West Germany. I hope you're enjoying the 15th Winter Olympics here on Wide World of Sports. Coming up next, from West Germany, Marina Kielmann. Welcome back to the Saddledome. This is Marina Kielmann from West Germany.
I think this is one of 4 Carmens tonight.
Isn't usually such a favourite with the ladies, bearing in mind, of course, that the big shootout tonight, Katarina and Debi, they will both be skating to Bizet.
It's a popular piece of music, and I mean a great piece of music, and in a sense, it's an easy characterization, the music and the stylization, although some girls miss it, the interpretation. Both the German girls are very tall, well-built girls. I mean, Claudia must be something like 5'8", and Marina here, I think she stands about as tall as I do.
Oh,
lost that edge.
She missed the edge as she took off there, which can happen sometimes, and it immediately puts you on an angle in the air. It's very difficult to recover from that.
And dangerous going towards the barrier. You might notice a lot of skaters do their jumps going towards the barrier. That's because they build their speed up, and the last momentum point, they're trying to get as much speed as possible into the takeoff of these jumps. We were speaking to one of the judges earlier this evening, and she was saying the press are really giving the hype to Katarina and Debi, but she said there are 3 other girls in there that could win the long program tonight if they skate well, and the other 2 girls do something slightly wrong. There's a strong push by Manley and the Jill Trenary, and indeed Midori Ito. So the judges aren't being fooled by all the publicity.
Yeah, what a story if Midori Ito could come from the clouds, so to speak, and grab herself a medal. She was way back 10th in the compulsories, and she came out like a shot out of a gun the other night, Friday night, to finish 4th in the short program. It's a demanding task, Jane, 4 minutes for the girls in the free program. Do you think it's a little long?
I think possibly it is a little long. I remember the men used to do 5 minutes, and theirs has been cut down. Maybe they should think about cutting down the ladies.
Yes, particularly at altitude, they must be absolutely exhausted at the end of this.
Yes, I can see now from both these German girls getting a little tired towards the end, but they have been putting a lot of jumps into their program. A couple of faults there for her. It wasn't a clean program by any means. But this is the first time I've seen this girl at a world-class championship, so maybe the pressure's on her a little bit too.
Marina Kielmann from West Germany, who was lying 11th coming into tonight's free program. And I would imagine that the flaws there that Jane just told you about would mean that she won't certainly progress any higher than that.
Marks for Marina Kielmann for technical merit. Les notes pour mérite de technique. 5.1, 5.0, 5.3, 5.3, 5.3, 5.3, 5.2, 5.2, 5.3, 5.1, 5.0, 5.3, 5.3, 5.3, 5.2, 5.2, 5.3. Marks for artistic impression. Les notes pour impression artistique. 5.2, 4.7, 5.2, 5.3, 5.2, 5.3, 5.2, 5.4.
And with all that perspiration showing just how tough it is out there tonight in the Saddledome from West Germany, that's Marina Kielmann.
5.3.
From Russia. That's a little girl who partnered Sergei Grinkov to win the gold medal in the pairs way back at the start of the games. She's been in the delightful position of watching everybody else sweat it out since then. And coming out onto the ice, one of her countrywomen, Anna Kondrashova. This was the girl who won herself a silver medal in the 1984 World Championships. And it must be, I guess, puzzling to a skater, Jane, to get so high up the scale and then find that you can't quite do it anymore. And in fact, you maybe start to slip down the ladder.
It does happen an awful lot, especially in the ladies, more so in the ladies than in the men's competition. As Chris said the other evening, there's always younger girls coming up or somebody fresh into competition who has something extra, and I guess it's just hard to keep up there after so many years. But some competitions, if she really skated well, she could still be up there in the medals, but she didn't do so well on her figures this time, and her short program wasn't totally clean, so she's not going to be up there in the top group. But it could have been entirely different. She could have done a good short and then she would have been.
I think that's her problem, is consistency. That the particular year that she did particularly well, everything seemed to come in place, and it was a fortunate year. I mean, artistically, I think she's a lovely skater, but her technique and, as I said, her consistency isn't as strong. Already she's double-footed 2 jumps and fallen off the edge of 1. Sure-footed tonight.
She looks like she's tiring there. I'm sure that was meant to be a triple Sarko, but she only did a double.
Yeah, at times it looks like it's all a bit of a battle for her, doesn't it? She doesn't seem to have that zest that some of the other girls have. I guess a bit like her countrywoman Kira Ivanova.
Yeah, it all looks a little bit laboured now towards the end of the program, because she is obviously getting tired.
From Moscow in the Soviet Union, at the age of 22, Anna Kondrashova. And as you were saying the other night, Chris, she's in fact coached by the same fellow who coaches the World Pairs Champions, one of whom we just saw.
That's right, and their consistency is up, so it must be the individual as opposed to the system that's wrong.
And we'll be able to see those Olympic gold medalists tomorrow night, the closing night of the Winter Olympics here on Wide World of Sports, when the skaters will come out and do their own thing and let their hair down. And that's usually a lot of fun, isn't it?
The exhibitions is more fun for the skaters in the sense of enjoyment, because there's no pressure on them to land the jumps. They're not going to lose a World Championship or an Olympic medal. So they can enjoy themselves a lot more. And it's a really great evening for the audience too.
So tonight you're watching the medal end of the business. The big battle coming up, Katarina Witt and Debi Thomas. And tomorrow night, the exhibition by all the gold medalists.
5.2. 5.2.
Well, the British judges marked her down there.
5.5. 5.5.
Surprisingly high marks from the other judges, and to say that really all of her jumps she didn't land particularly well against what the Germans did with their technicality with their jumps.
5.5, 5.6, 5.5, 5.1, 5.0. Marks for artistic impression, pour impression artistique. 5.4, 5.5.
And there are the final marks, and right around Australia this Sunday night, I hope you're enjoying ladies' medal night in the figure skating right here on Wide World of Sports.
5.1, 5.3.
In a moment, the blonde Brit, England's #1, Joanne Conway. Who'll certainly be hoping for a change of luck. She was 8th after the compulsories, 18th after a disastrous short program here on Friday night. It must be tough to pull yourself together after that horror evening she had on Friday night, Jane, and say to yourself,
well, I'm waiting for her first jump now to see how it goes. Well, that was okay so far.
Joanne, I think if she's doing well, she's a happy girl, obviously. But when she's had a bad short, I think she's needed a lot of convincing about tonight from her trainer, Paula Fassi.
That should have been a triple toe loop there, but she missed it. The takeoff was pulled out of it.
That is disastrous, falling over on a very simple forward outside edge, missing the jump.
That is purely a loss of concentration, is it?
It's hard to say. To me, it looked like that. You shouldn't fall over just on a simple thing like that.
She pulled out. She should have done a triple toe Salchow there, and she pulled out and just did a single and then stepped forward and lost her edge, which I don't know what's wrong with her this evening. Maybe it's the thoughts that she had from her short program, and maybe she's trying a little too hard even.
triple loop. Again, she fell on that. She's only had the 2 clean jumps, the double axels, which seem to be her favourite jump. Jumps now. That should have been a triple 2 and she made it a double.
Yes, you can only imagine, I guess, the mixture of panic and confusion that would be going through her mind now when she knows
she's not settled at all right from the beginning.
She's a shot bird, all right. How tough it must be when you're only 16 years of age. From North Shields in England, she went to the United States to live and to train under the famous Carlo Fassi. At the end of it all, I guess for not everybody, the dreams come true at the Winter Olympics. Still, I guess when you're only 16, you've got plenty of skating ahead of you, Jane.
Well, yes, I mean, she has that. She can always come back next year, but she shouldn't be throwing away her chances, even at 16.
You will get 4-3, 4-2.
And a sad picture there for Joanne Conway, whose parents have given up a lot so she could live and train in the States. And tonight, as on Friday night, it never really happened for her.
5.1, 4.7, 4.5, 4.7, 4.8, 4.8, 4.8, 4.5, 4.5, 5.1, 4.7, 4.5, 4.7, 4.8, 4.8. Marks for artistic impression, les notes pour impression artistique. 5.0, 4.9, 4.6, 5.0, 5.0, 4.9, 4.8, 4.7, 4.9, 5.0, 4.9, 4.6, 5.0, 5.0, 4.9.
What will that do to her confidence, Jane, a young girl like that to be absolutely blasted out of the Winter Olympics?
It's very hard. It depends on how she trains from now on. Maybe she needs to have a break from it and then work a little bit harder.
I think she needs some more consistency of performing in front of an audience, just to get over the nerves aspect.
From Dresden, in the German Democratic Republic at the age of 20, this is Simone Koch.
She's normally very safe on her jumps.
Again, this little girl, or it was a little girl when I first saw her, and I remember not so long ago, even just a year and a half ago, has suddenly grown up and go through an awful lot of body changes for the girl when she was small, when she was learning her jumps, and then when they grow up so rapidly, then it alters their rotation, their preparation for the jumps, and I think that's what they have to overcome. That's what happened with Katarina, but as you can see, she was successful, and now she's settled into it a lot more. I think she's landing these jumps now.
I must say, Christopher, her body changes have all been for the better too.
She certainly has a long pair of legs, doesn't she?
was a little bit awkward on that job, but she managed to get around it. Jump she did and she missed, so maybe she has a thing about double axel that some girls find them easy, some girls find them very difficult. I remember one season Katarina Witt had a problem with the double axel, even though she could do triple jumps.
The eyes of the world upon you, and 19,000 fans packed here into the Saddledome tonight. Again, I guess we see the pressure that's on these young girls, Jane.
Well, it was a nice program, even though she had a couple of mistakes in the fall there, but she can't be too disappointed in that. I think her time will come next season when Katarina Witt will retire from competition. She'll probably be the champion of East Germany.
Marks for Simone Koch for technical merit. Pour mérite de technique, voici les notes. 5.0, 5.1, 4.9, 5.3, 5.3, 5.2, 5.3, 5.3, 5.1, 5.0, 5.1, 4.9, 5.3, 5.3, 5.2, 5.3, 5.3, 5.1. Marks for artistic impression, pour impression artistique. 5.0, 5.1, 5.0.
And there are the marks for Simone Koch, the teammate of the great Katarina Witt, who later this evening will battle it out for the medal here at the Saddledome at these, the 15th Winter Olympic Games. Next up, the little lady who brought the house down on Friday night from Japan, the dynamic Midori Ito. Cheer for this little girl from Japan who just blew the place away on Friday night, Midori Ito.
I do hope she's going to skate well, because that will be fantastic for her.
Beautiful triple Lutz jump there. She gets incredible height.
That's the only girl that will be doing a triple Lutz in the competition, I'm sure.
I'm sure she's going to be the first girl that does the triple axel. what's so good about this little girl is that she's not necessarily particularly artistic, but what she's doing, the athleticism, is so dynamic. It covers that area. And her actual skating, her movement over the ice is, she bends so deeply for such a tiny person that the movement looks so nice over the ice.
At the risk of mixing my measurements, she's 5 foot tall, 18 years of age, and weighs just 44 kilos, but they are 44 dynamic kilos.
A lot of power in those legs. It's amazing, she doesn't look surprised that she's landed her jumps, which a lot of girls do, and she looks like she's very confident about it.
Triple toe loop.
Triple jump completed.
She's punching the air there. She knows she's done well.
Magnificent stuff from that little girl, as you say, Christopher. She punched the air like a prize fighter. And what a battle she's put up here again tonight. And you only wonder, don't you?
Look at the tears, the excitement.
You only wonder. 10th in the compulsories. She rocketed into contention on Friday night, 4th in the short program. She's certainly been the outstanding free skater here tonight. And we have just watched quite clearly a great star of tomorrow, Midori Ito of Japan. Lying 8th coming into tonight's competition. That purely because of her 10th in the compulsories. Well, she's certainly given them something to think about, hasn't she?
She puts the catch amongst pigeons, you might say. Look at those marks, the technical merit. And well deserved too, really well deserved. That's really going to put the pressure on the Debi Thomas and Katarina Witt. And the audience is standing up for the marks, which is great. Great appreciation.
For once, it seems that the judges are pleasing the crowd with their marks, which is probably the first time in this event.
5.9. Marks for artistic impression.
I think that reflects possibly her lack of artistic impression, but I think the beauty of her skating is the skating, and not necessarily what she's doing with her arms and body, but the movement of the skating.
And there she is, the happiest little girl in Calgary tonight. And right around Australia, I know you must have enjoyed that. Midori Ito, who has gone to the top of the competition at this stage. A marvellous performance here at the Saddledome tonight. We'll be back later for the big shootout, anticipated anyway, between Katarina Witt and Debi Thomas. But right now, it's up to Mount Allen, where there was a great battle today in the men's slalom. Welcome back to the Saddledome, where the air is absolutely electric as the big guns come out for their warm-up. Whoops, prior to the battle tonight. Debi Thomas there from the United States and her shootout with the mighty Katarina Witt. And the sad news right now is for Karen Kadavi.
Yes, Karen's had to withdraw because she had a case of the flu, I guess, but she was running a very, very high temperature and she was very weak. And when it gets to that point, I think it's really too dangerous to skate.
So in this last group, where we had expected to see Karen Kadavi, who was lying 6th, we won't. And that's the America's big gun, of course, Debi Thomas, along with Jill Trenary. Carrying the hopes of Canada, Liz Manley, who skated so well the other night.
Yes, she did. We were speaking to her earlier, and she was bright and breezy, so I hope she can keep her head together tonight.
I guess the pressure on these Canadians, we saw it with their hockey team, we saw it with Brian Orser. Host nation, they've never won a gold medal at either the Summer Games in Montreal or at these Winter Games. I guess they must feel that everybody is sort of riding them.
Yes, indeed, and I think they, along with the Americans, have sort of set up commissions to get their athletes in the gold medal positions. Or they're asking why aren't they doing it. Just watching a few of them with their jumps in the warm-up. Some of them are a little bit shaky.
They're probably nervous.
And I guess no one feeling it more than Debi Thomas, who was pretty upset with her marks in the short program and who says she's got a point to prove. She says she's always had a point to prove. She reckons she's always got to skate better to get a fair deal. I guess if that attitude helps her to skate better, that's the one to have. What do you think of her outfit tonight, Chris?
Well, personally, I think it looks a lot better because I think you can see her legs. It gives her a longer leg line. You can actually, the other day, I sort of missed what her legs were doing, whereas I can see the definition and the stretch. And for me, more feminine too, so I prefer it.
Katarina Witt wearing the North Sydney Rugby League club colours. I'm not sure whether that is going to bring her a great deal of luck, but I'm sure my mates from the club are watching tonight, especially watching Katarina Witt.
Our next competitor, representing the United States, is Debi.
And first out onto the ice, currently lying 5th in this competition, coming into this competition tonight, I should say, from the United States, the very attractive Jill Trenary.
was actually supposed to be a triple, but she obviously didn't feel good about it. She did only a double jump. Nice triple toe loop there.
What she's thinking now, what she should be thinking of, where she missed that jump, and putting it in somewhere else later in the program.
I was wondering earlier if the ice was a little bit hard for skaters. A lot of them seem to be losing their landings.
Except for Midori.
That's true.
About this too, the judges would have been watching all week, and so they would know what was supposed to go there. And when they do a double, they know that they've either not feeling comfortable, not skating to their best. So even psychologically, that can affect the judges' mark. That was supposed to be a triple, and she only did a double.
Well, she's 19 years of age, from Colorado Springs, Colorado. She's certainly very, very pretty. The 1987 US National Champion, Jill Trenary.
She didn't really make any bad mistakes there, but she just, because she didn't do her triple jumps, she'll lose points for technical merit there.
A girl who was in the medal contentions, but at this stage, I guess you feel she probably hasn't quite grabbed one.
No, I don't think so.
No, she needed a better performance than that to do so.
And a face that says apprehension there. She waits for the marks. Jill Trenary.
5.6, 5.5, 5.4, 5.7, 5.7, 5.6, 5.6. 5.6, 5.7, 5.6, 5.5, 5.4, 5.7, 5.7, 5.6, 5.6, 5.6, 5.7. Les notes pour impression artistique, marks for artistic impression. 5.7.
Jill Trenary, a somewhat disappointed Jill Trenary there, representing the United States on this gold medal night, ladies figure skating at the 15th Winter Olympics. And stand by. One of the great moments of the Games coming up, because next on the ice, the defending Olympic and world champion, the gorgeous Miss Katarina Witt. Welcome back to the Saddledome. And as the last of the marks are read out for Jill Trenary, what a picture she represents. The magnificent Miss Katarina Witt.
From the German Democratic Republic, Katarina Witt.
A last word or two from Jutta Muller. What would she be saying?
I really don't know, because it would have been in German.
Just go for it.
There seems to be a look of, we know what we have to do. Powerful opening. Triple toe loop, double toe loop. Doubled it. She didn't put the triple in. It's interesting, in practice she was doing the triple loop. She only went for a double.
Nice triple jump combination there. She fell out of the triple a little bit, but you can tell from her experience she managed to save the rest of the combination.
Watching this from Europeans and watching it now, I think she's a lot more mature in her expressions that she's using this time, much more than even 6 weeks ago in Prague.
And there you have a Carmen that I guess Georges Bizet would be fairly happy with, Jane.
She skated very well. As Chris mentioned, she put in a double loop in the middle instead of a triple. We just have to see now if Debi's going to do that jump. It could lose her points on the technical mark, but I think artistically, I think she'll get a good set of points.
It's going to be interesting now because Debi's coach would have been watching that, and he will go straight back and be telling her that she missed the triple loop and that Debi certainly has to do it.
So you feel there is a spot there for Debi. The hole is there, and the stage is set for perhaps an even greater battle than we dreamt of.
We won't know until the last set of marks go up of this evening. Who's won the gold medal? Look, not great. Midori has beaten her on those marks.
5.7 and 5.8.
You see the judges know that she missed that double loop. Oh, that triple loop and put a double in. And fell off one of her combinations a little bit.
5.6, 5.7, 5.8, 5.7, 5.7, 5.7, 5.8. They don't go on with you artistic. Marks for artistic impression, 5.9, 5.8, 5.9, 5.8, 5.9.
And those marks, of course, taking Katarina Witt to the competition at this stage, but the battle is certainly joined now. Debi Thomas up against Katarina. We'll see that later in the program. At the moment, half-time here at the Saddledome, and when we come back... Welcome back to the Saddledome, and as you would expect, an enormous cheer going up from the 19,000 capacity crowd for Canada's sweetheart, Liz Manley, a young lady who was lying third coming into the competition tonight.
Triple Lux, which is the jump that the Japanese girl did, and I didn't realise Elizabeth Manley was going to include it, but that's certainly one of the most difficult jumps for the girls. Nice triple toe loop there too.
I think now she's got that jump in place, Elizabeth is going to be a confident skater now. If she starts bad, she continues bad.
Please don't speak too soon, Chris. Triple loop there, which is the jump that Katarina failed to include.
think that's Elizabeth's bronze medal in the bank.
At least a bronze. She just has a double axel to do. That was it.
And the fans have gone wild. Last Sunday night we saw the pressure get to Brian Orser here in the Saddledome, skating in front of his countrymen. Tonight, this little lady has just revelled in it. And as she did on Friday night, she has dazzled them.
So many times Elizabeth has gotten there. She's been so close to getting medals. And when it came down to the final event on the evening, she's made mistakes. Tonight, she hasn't. I think that look of disbelief at the end of it last.
Well, it's been a big night for the 5-footers. Jane, first Midori Ito, and now all of 5 foot from Belleville, Ontario, Elizabeth Manley.
Well, maybe I should have gone out there because I'm only 5 foot. Maybe I could have done triple jump tonight. She must be so pleased that she skated well, because it must have been great for her confidence to go out there and do that after having so many disastrous programs, as Chris mentioned in the past.
It's hard to believe, isn't it, that she could be a girl who once lacked in confidence and sometimes wilted under pressure.
Yes, she looked very sure then, very confident tonight.
She's always been a good skater in practice. You know, people have had high expectations of her, but when she's actually had to go out on the night, she hasn't been able to pull it off. But tonight, it's all changed. Even on those marks, beating Katarina Witt on the technical merit marks.
The competition's certainly getting more exciting.
Marks for participant question.
Well, you said at the start of the evening, both of you, there could be a fly in the ointment, and maybe that rather attractive little fly is Elizabeth Manley.
Well, gone into second place behind Katarina. Now Debi's got to come out and skate, a couple of skaters down the road.
So, with the pressure on, I hope you're enjoying this right around Australia on Wide World of Sports, where we have a whole lot more coming up. Welcome back to the Saddledome. Medal night in the ladies figure skating, a capacity crowd, one of the hottest nights of the games. And on the ice is the Soviet champion, Ivanova.
I can just see on the results screen that actually Elizabeth Manley beat Katarina on the long program, although she's still behind her at the moment overall.
Yes, that was a fantastic performance, and I guess it certainly leaves the gate open for Debi Thomas. If Liz can beat her, Debi can.
Wide open. I think if Debi goes out and just skates a good, clean program tonight, we're going to see her with the gold medal.
Well, she's next up after this 25-year-old from Moscow in the Soviet Union, Ivanova, who led after the compulsories, which is her specialty, but who faded in the short program. and who certainly isn't skating with the flair of the little girl we saw a moment ago, Liz Manley.
That's twice she's been close to the barrier, and that time she almost tripped.
Yes, if she gets any closer to the crowd, you might be forgiven for thinking she's about to defect.
Atmosphere now in the arena after the excitement of Elizabeth Manley.
I think there's an anticipation though, Debi Thomas.
Yes, if you wrote a script, Chris, you couldn't do it better, could you? The drama mounts, and the final skater of the evening will be the one we'll see next, Debi Thomas. What a climax.
And Debi will for sure know exactly what's happened to placings and what's happened to Katarina and what's happened to Elizabeth Manley. And I would have thought that would have really instilled a lot of confidence in her, because she knows that she can go out there and win now.
Quite remarkable, looking back at Liz Manley's performance. This is almost clinical stuff, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, both the Russian girls seem to lack appeal for the audience as well, and indeed what they're doing. Even choices of music.
Kira Ivanova, and I guess it must be tough for her, sandwiched in the middle there, knowing that the crowd is just waiting for Debi Thomas to come out and see whether or not she can rip that gold medal off Katarina Witt. Again, as on Friday night, she really just doesn't seem to enjoy skating all that much.
There isn't that look of enjoyment when she's out there, and indeed when she's finished, but I think, you know, she knows that she hasn't done a good performance, and possibly lacks that confidence when she goes on the ice because of the insecurity of her jumps.
Marks for Kira Ivanova for technical merit. Mérite de technique 5.2, 4.5. 4.7, 5.4.
Drop there between a 4.5 and a 5.4.
5.2,
Big difference.
5.0, 5.1. 5.2, 4.5, 4.7, 5.4.
But she didn't do any triple jumps to speak of, and had a few falls and faults there.
Marks for artistic impression on question artistique 5.5, 5.0.
And she gets up in disappointment and leaves the podium because those marks. Welcome back to the Saddledome, and this is the moment we've been waiting for all night as Alex McGowan issues those last instructions to Debi Thomas from the United States.
Wow. She double-footed that landing.
That was a
pot.
triple combination, which is a difficult combination. Most girls have done a triple-double. She's obviously trying for that higher technical mark.
That was a little bit of a silly mistake there. She landed the triple fine and went into the double and just stepped off it, off the back edge, as if she was falling off. It's going to be interesting for the judges to mark this now. I wouldn't like to be doing this.
Certainly trying a totally different style to the style she had in a short program. She's going for a more classical line here, whereas her short program music was very sort of disco dancing music.
The next jump is the jump that Katarina only did a double. I think she has to really go for this. And she's going to try and beat Katarina tonight now.
Just falling off that landing again.
Well, it certainly isn't as clean as Katarina's program was.
This is where the experience of Katarina Witt shows through, that she can handle a situation like this. Debi obviously getting so nervous under the pressure.
I think also looking at Debi, she's getting tired.
Debi Thomas, who skated onto the ice here 4 minutes ago, a gold medal within her grasp. But after that, almost certainly the medal will go to Katarina Witt.
Well, Katarina was lying in second place going into this part of the competition. It really is going to be this first set of marks.
How disappointed she is, Debi Thomas.
She knows that she didn't skate her best and probably missed her chance.
That was that early jink, and I heard you hold your breath, Chris, and that was the beginning of just a couple of problems for her.
Yeah, falling off.
I would say on those performances that Katarina Witt will still win in the end, even though she's been beaten on the long program by Elizabeth Manley. I think combined results will still put Katarina first, but we still haven't seen the marks yet for Debi.
And also, you can't put her above Liz Manley either with those marks. There's not a lot of placement for marks for Debi.
Yeah, the best she could hope for would be third tonight, and that would be a little unfair looking at the marks of Midori Ito.
As you can see, those marks not good enough to beat Katarina on those. I think she knew too as the music finished. It's going to be very, very close. Nope. Katarina Witt's won.
And as Christopher Dean says, those marks just not enough.
And I think Elizabeth Manley could get second.
She's second.
Elizabeth Manley second.
Got a silver medal tonight.
Isn't that fantastic? She skated best on the night, and the girl from Canada has in fact got up. You predicted there could be a fly in the ointment, and that was Elizabeth Manley.
Well, I think just tonight, I mean, Katarina skated very, very well, but not her ultimate, not her very, very best.
And there she is.
Look at that.
She cannot believe it. Elizabeth Manley. The great Katarina Witt has won the gold medal. The first female to defend her gold medal since Sonia Henny back 50 years ago. And that little lady has taken the silver. And you could be forgiven for thinking she'd taken the gold.
Special, isn't it? Very special.
Oh my God, you have no idea how good I feel. The warm-up was a little shaky and I came off and I went, I'm nervous. But by the time I got back out here again, I felt exactly the same way I did in the short. And when I was standing there, I thought, God, if I'm feeling the same way, I know I can do it. Oh, I'm so excited. I was thinking through that whole program, and, you know, to be honest with you, I knew the crowd was behind me, but I was so focused from the time I started to the time I ended. I couldn't even curtsy. I was so happy at the end. I had to just stand there. I just wish you guys could have heard my voice, or could hear my ears during my last spin. It was like the world was caving in, the crowd. It was so overwhelming. I just felt like dancing.
And out they come for the medal presentation. And there she is, the three-time world champion, the six-time European champion, and now the dual Olympic gold medalist, the queen of ice skating, Miss Katarina Witt.
Well, that's amazing that she's won 2 Olympic championships.
And what a thrill for that little lady to come here tonight, be scored best in her free program, and come from the clouds and get up and just nip that silver medal from Debi Thomas.
The bronze medalist in the ladies event, from the United States, Debi Thomas.
Debi Thomas, no doubt disappointed, but nonetheless with that bronze medal becomes the first black athlete to ever win a medal at the Winter Olympic Games. In fact, it's only since 1980 at Lake Placid that black athletes even competed here in the Winter Olympics.
President of the International Olympic Committee will present the medals to the victors. Remettre les médailles aux vainqueurs.
Katarina Witt in what will almost certainly be her last Winter Olympics, as I said, becoming the first woman since Sonia Henny back in the 30s to retain her gold medal. But I think she's the hero of the night, that little heroine, Liz Manley.
She certainly is. It's a wonderful evening, a lot of tension, and anticipation. And I think to look at it, Katarina won on the night, didn't skate her optimum, but Debi skated possibly one of her worst performances, and Elizabeth Manley certainly her best performance.
As you said, her experience and her, dare I say it, professionalism prevailed on the night. Katarina Witt
certainly did.
Debi Thomas with so much pressure on her, but with the chance there to grab that medal, just dropped it at the last bit.
Please stand and share with these fine athletes their pride in their achievement. Voulez-vous lever et partager la fierté de ces athlètes? The national anthem of the German Democratic Republic, l'hymne national de la République démocratique d'Allemagne.
And there she is, gold medalist yet again, Katarina Witt. The most gorgeous girl in sports. And once more, a golden smile. But what a night it's been, eh? And Katarina won the medal, but it was Liz Manley who won the hearts.
Yes, it was nice to have something surprising happen in the championships.
And also that little girl, Midori Ito, I think, you know, for the future next year, she's going to be up there on that podium too. In fact, all the whole girl competition is going to be, again, I think next year, very exciting with the Joe Trenary's and the Midori Itos. Tom Manley next year also, with beating Katarina on the long, is going to give her a tremendous boost in her confidence and what she can achieve. And so I think we can look forward to a lot more exciting championships in the future.
Okay, well, we expected a marvellous evening here at the Saddledome tonight, but it exceeded our expectations. And I think the reason for that was because that little girl in pink there just came from the clouds, grabbed that silver medal, upset the apple cart, and made us realise once again that there's nothing quite like sports. We'll leave you right now from the Saddledome, but we're going back to our studios where Jayne and Chris will join us again to talk about the great performances we've seen here at the Saddledome over these Winter Olympics. I hope you've enjoyed the performance here tonight. It was absolutely unforgettable. Coming up next, at your 15th Winter Olympiad, we'll go back to Mount Allen, where Alberto La Bomba Tomba continues the battle in the slalom.